Hi everybody, it's Janice. Today I'm going to be sharing how I made this little cricket cut come to life by using some crochet thread and distress stain. I went to my Create a Critter cartridge, and on button number 36 maybe, I can't remember right now, is this little horse, and I cut him at 3.5 inches because he's going to go on an A2 size card. Hopefully he fits. If he doesn't, it'll be okay. He's so cute. I cut him out of 3 colors of brownish tones. This one is a coordination paper that I got at Joann's. It's called French Toast. And then this one is just a Recollections Craft. I love it because it's nice and smooth, and I ran it through the Divine Swirl embossing folder. And then this is just a cream piece I had in my stash. And then he has a little bandana, and I cut it out of something I had in my scraps. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I made all of these pieces here for his tail and his mane and his little, it's a little pom-pom on the top of his head. Okay, so we'll start with the top of his head, and what I have here is some embroidery. No, not embroidery, this is crochet thread. Comes in a big and you get a lot for the price. So, and I had this big giant knotted piece, so I cut it off and thought, okay, what can we do? Okay, so this is just my creative memory little tool. If you're familiar with creative memory, you'll say, oh yeah, I have one of those. Okay, here's something else that you can do with it. I'm going to make a little pom-pom. And I think this is what I used for it. It's so funny. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. Couldn't sleep. And now I can't remember what I used for the pom-pom. But here we go. Okay, we're going to make a pom-pom like we did when we were kids. Just take a piece of your thread, and then you're going to start to just begin to wrap this. Okay, when we were kids we used to do this. Make those little pom-poms. Do you remember that? And maybe kids still do this. But this can be great for flower centers, or for you make a little cheerleader, or for a little girl's hair bow, or just hair. All the possibilities are endless with this. But now we're going to go ahead and cut it off. And these 2 pieces, the one that we laid across, that's going to be what you're going to tie off. Okay, so I'm just going to start doing it now while it's still contained, because once you pull this off here, it tends to get a little wild and crazy. So we're going to pull it, and then we're going to pull it off and just finish tying it off. There goes my tool. Don't fall. Here. Okay, and now, normally we would cut. To make a pom-pom, you would just cut all of that, and you end up with a little pom-pom. But I wanted his hair, top of his head, to look like curly hair. Okay, so I'm just going to trim all this excess off. You know, make sure you tie it off a couple times. And just play with it as much as you want. I'm not going to take too much time to play with it right now, because I want to show you all 3 elements. But see, when we put this guy together, he's going to have that poof right there. Okay? So, and I know it's white. That's where the vintage photo comes in. A walnut stain, or whatever brown you happen to have of the stain, if you have any. If you don't, you might want some when you see what I'm going to do. Okay, then for the mane, okay, for this part right here, again I used the same tool, but this time I didn't do that beginning part. Like what we did for the pom-pom. We're just gonna and I decided that it needed to be, I did not measure this ahead of time, it just worked out. But it's kind of like 1.5 inches in width. And I used score tape for mine because that's what I have in the thinner. I have the 1/4 inch, I have the 1/8 inch too. Actually what I'm using today, right now, is going to be the 1/4 inch. The 1/8 inch, sorry. I should have started a little bit further. If you're just finding my channel and you live in Orlando, I work at the Waterford Lakes, Michael's, at which is Waterford Lakes Town Center is over off of Alafaya Trail near the 408, and we're having a cricket test drive class this Friday, the 25th of May. From 6 to 8, it's a $10 class, and you get to take the cricket on a test drive. So that means I'll teach you how to use it, and then you'll get to try it if you're, you know, just kind of just wondering about this whole cricket thing, and is it something that you would want to buy. No better way than testing it out first. So, okay, so here's my 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch score tape, and this is what's basically going to contain this. It's kind of like just holding it in place. And so we're just going to take it and, oops, and one unraveled. And that's okay. I just want to kind of hold it there in place. Okay, and you don't have to use a scissor to cut this. That's the nice thing. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And just rip it off. Okay. Just trim it a little bit. You don't have to do that now. You can do it at the end, but I'm just funny that way. Okay, and then just slide it off of there, and then I just kind of smashed it together. Okay, and so see, there is what's going to end up being this little 4-season mane. It's going to be beneath this top layer. And the top layer is going to need some foam tape. Okay, so there's that. And then for his tail, more of the same. I just used this one because I kind of wanted it to be, you know, the full length there. So for this one, same deal thing again. Cut a little piece. You don't need as much this time because it's just a few strands. You know, whatever's manageable for you. And then just begin to wrap it maybe just, I don't know what I did, maybe 5 times or so. Just whatever you think, however bushy you want his tail to be. Okay, and then we'll just tie these off. Sorry, I was off camera there. And then what I did was I made a knot just to make it look like, if you've ever been around anyone who does dressage, you know, they braid the horse's tail and they have that big knot. I don't know, maybe it's not a knot. I don't know, this is just what it looks like to me. My sister-in-law does dressage, and so I've seen pictures and stuff, and she knows how to do all that fancy stuff. So anyway, it also looks like a tassel. Okay, and so there we go. And then I'm just going to trim that one off. I'm not going to trim the whole thing yet until I hold it up to his little tail area here. Okay, so that's going to go there. Going to cut that long piece off because we don't need it. And then I'm going to cut all these pieces. Okay, and that's it. Alright, now is when we're going to dye all of these, because we want them to be brown for our horse. Okay, and look how simple. Okay, and then we're going to dry it off with our heat tool. If you don't have a heat tool, then just let it dry overnight, or, I mean, it's not going to take overnight, but you know what I mean. Go do something else. It's nothing like waiting for something to dry when you want to make a project. So, go fold your laundry or something. I don't know. Mow your lawn. You know what you got to do. And then come back and finish your project. But I'm not that patient, so I have a heat tool. And I'm just going to make sure all of it, make sure that I didn't miss any spots. Let's dry it off. And you just keep pulling it, and this might take a few minutes, so I'm gonna do this and then I'll come back and we'll put the little horse together. Okay, because all I'm gonna do is literally hold it. I'll just do this a little bit so you can see that it starts to change color. It's gonna look lighter. Just trust, whether it's the ink pads or the stains, they dry lighter than what they really are. Because right now this is super saturated. And so that's all I'm going to do. Okay? Thanks for watching. Come back for part 2.